It always comes
after
first.
a couple of weeks, I got the hang of this.
Just to get it out of the way so that we don't have to do it later.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Meet Your Monsters is brought to you by The Ugly Tree. The Ugly Tree is a comic book series created by Abram Aiken.
That's me.
It's the story of a young woman who must team up with horrible monsters to save her family from a madman. The Ugly Tree is a horror comedy. If you like the movies we talk about on this podcast, you'll definitely see their influence in this book. You can check it out, The Ugly Tree, on Facebook. The first issue is for sale now. The second will be available soon.
Oh, thank you. I love how we do an ad for something that people could barely get on a podcast that isn't even posted. But when it is.
One of these days.
Welcome to Meet Your Monsters. My name is Abe. These are my friends.
Kathleen.
Colby.
Matt.
Meet Your Monsters for you at home is a podcast in which I show my friends horror movies that I love, and we find out if they can overcome their sissy fears and love them too, or if they think my taste in movies sucks. Tonight's movie is 2006 Hatchet, which is written and directed by Adam Green, starring Kane Hodder, Robert Englund, Tony Todd, Joel Moore, Tamara Feldman, and Dion Richmond. Matt, why don't you hit us with the old synopsis there?
All right. It's an eclectic group of New Orleans natives and tourists who take a tour into the swamp to come face to face with the deformed murderer in the form of swamp legend Victor Crowley. From then on, it becomes a tale of who can best the unstoppable killing machine.
This monster falls into the category of human monsters, like Jason Voorhees, of course.
I thought Jason Voorhees was the tools of the devil.
No, that was Freddy.
No,
How
Jason was
are
there
they
too.
different?
Oh, I don't know. I just looked it up, and he was next to Jason. Or he wasn't there, but Jason was in that category.
Oh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So a human monster. This poor deformed lad is now haunting the woods of the swamp and chopping up folks in a lovely, heinous way.
The first person he chops up is Robert Englund. You may know him as Freddy Krueger.
Okay, so now, when I first saw this movie, what caught my attention was I was watching some other movie, probably The Hills Run Red or something like that, and I saw a preview and it said old school American horror, and I went, that means slasher, and sure enough, I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
What did you guys think?
I liked it.
It was awesome.
I thought it was alright.
Yeah, not a huge.
It wasn't like the death scenes were awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that alone makes it worth it.
That is what the horror movie is.
Yeah. Well, this particular type of horror movie. Well, why don't we go right on to the trivia there, Kathleen?
All right.
The terrible trivia. I mean, terrifying.
Terrifying, yes.
Yeah.
Prepare to be terrified. Hatchet was the last production to shoot in Louisiana before Hurricane Katrina hit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
The storm before the storm?
The storm before the storm. I bet Victor survived it, though.
Survived everything.
Yeah.
So, to get technical, a hatchet, per definition, is a small axe with a single bit or blade. Thus, the poster image axe is not, in fact, a hatchet.
What
I was
is it
wondering about
then?
that.
No. Because I thought that at first for a long time. But I noticed today he had a little handheld double-bladed hatchet. And what they show on the cover is just a close-up of that blade. So you don't see how long the handle is. But he definitely had a small
The handle
handheld.
isn't the issue. It's that it's got the double blades.
So
The hatchet just has
Yeah,
the one.
I think that's true.
Oh, so it's not a matter of the handle, but the blades? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If you went to Jack's and asked for a double-sided hatchet, it'd tell you to fuck yourself because it has one blade.
So if it has two blades, it becomes an axe? But an axe can have one
It's
blade.
probably got a whole other name or something like I can't even think of a fancy enough name for a two-sided hatchet.
I don't build or chop anything, so I wouldn't know.
What if one side of the hatchet is as sharp as the devil himself?
What?
That's our new
it's
segment.
obviously a
Our new
hatchet
segment. Age obscure reference.
No one knows what movie that's from? Nobody?
No.
Oh, okay, it's the Four Rooms. Remember they order a hatchet as sharp as the devil himself? At the end when the Quentin Tarantino scene.
I thought he used a
from
cleaver for that.
It was a cleaver, but that's what he said. A hatchet that's what he ordered from room service. A hatchet as sharp as the devil himself. Anyway,
And that concludes
continue.
Dave's obscure reference.
Okay, I'm done.
All right, let's talk about Kane Hodder now.
Yay, Kane.
He plays Victor
Surprisingly,
Crowley.
fleet of foot for a big guy. He was booking it around that set.
Well, he has said that he was the largest baby ever born in Auburn, California, at 11 pounds and 9 ounces.
God
Holy
damn.
shit.
Hey.
His mama must have been like in some
She was a
pain.
big
Ripped in
woman,
half
too.
is where you went.
So his first victim was his mom. He fucking chopped her in half. Ah,
Aw.
my God, the blood.
And apparently he's a super nice guy. He was actually burned badly in a stunt mishap in the 70s. He suffered third-degree burns over 50% of his body, so he now spends his time working with children at burn centers.
Oh, what a sweet dude.
Yeah, super nice guy.
That's, must be terrifying for those poor children.
Yeah,
to see this
especially
giant
when he
man,
goes in
like-
full costume.
Now, you're about to read a quote that he said that I won't ruin, but I wanted to tell a story. When I was at Comic-Con a while back for the Jason and Freddy release, I got to meet...
Was it San Diego Comic-Con?
It was San Diego Comic-Con. I got to meet Robert Englund and the guy who played Jason in Freddy vs. Jason, who wasn't Kane Hodder. And I remember saying to the guy
Do you
working
remember
the
what his
booth...
name was?
I don't right off.
I have it.
What is it?
It is
Kane Hodder.
Ken Kersinger.
Yeah. So I say to the guy working the booth, I'm like, why the fuck didn't they use Kane Hodder? You know? And he goes, well, that guy's, he's kind of big. And I was like, Kane's the fucking man. All right, cool, whatever. And the dude was really nice. He was a really sweet guy. Of course, I was there to see Robert Englund, but yeah. And I wish if Kane had been in the movie, it would have been awesome because I could have met two of my heroes at once. Still never met Kane Hodder. Of all the horror people that I've met,
Yeah, at Starfest a couple years ago, there was the guy that played the child Jason that popped out of the...
Uh-huh.
I don't know what he's up to now.
Just that, man.
It's like I like to hang around lakes. And
Every now and then, if you're in a boat, he'll go.
He does birthday parties where it just pops up out of a ball pit and shit.
But I thought that was a funny story given your quote. So go ahead.
All right. There's an indie hardcore band called Kane Hodder,
Sweet.
and they had actually asked him for permission to use it, and he was super excited that they were going to call themselves that.
Nice.
Joel Schumacher wanted him to play Bane in Batman and Robin.
Oh, we got robbed.
But the part was given to Jeep Swenson, who I really know nothing
Which,
about.
as we know, really made his career take
Yeah,
off.
yeah, and as far as I'm concerned, Kane dodged a bullet. That movie was horrible.
Oh, he would have been Kane as Bane.
Yeah. Kabane.
All right.
Bane Hodder.
Then this is the actual quote that Abe was just talking about. It's in reference to Kane being excluded from the role of Jason Voorhees in Freddy vs. Jason. And they asked him, when they asked him about it, he said, I guess they wanted Jason to look like a skinny little bitch this time. And then I don't know if this is factual, but I looked up their heights just to see how they compared.
Uh-huh.
And Kane was 6'4", and Ken Kersinger was actually 6'5", so he might be taller,
He's
just
taller,
not as
but he's
big.
They don't.
Right.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
measure girth on IMDb.
Yeah.
Fools.
Kane is just so thick. He's like a big,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like a lumberjack that would whoop your ass for fun. The other guy, he was muscular, but he was lean and tall, and he looked more like, like he would be like the
Regular guy.
superhero kind of guy.
Yeah.
That's where Kane looks like a fucking beast that would run for sure.
Not your dreams. All right. Then one girl you might recognize, the blonde girl. Her name's Mercedes McNabb. Her character's name was Misty. And you might recognize her from her role as Harmony Kendall in both TV shows Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel. But what I thought was her most notable role was as Amanda Buckman in both Addams Family movies. Which, if you haven't
Girl
seen those,
Scout?
they're
Oh.
awesome.
Ah,
Yeah.
nice. Wait, which girl was she?
You remember when they're doing the play for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
No, I mean, which girl was she in
She
this?
was Misty, the blonde girl, the slutty girl.
Oh, the
dumb
softcore
blonde.
one.
Yeah.
She's been typecast since 12.
Yeah. But I was excited because Addams Family movies are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
great.
those two movies.
Yeah. How
All right.
hilarious. I had no idea.
Yeah. Who knew she would have continued?
Yeah.
So wait a second.
Which really makes
I've seen both little girls from Addams Family's boobs now.
awesome. You've seen Christina Ricci's boobs?
Yeah, she's been naked in
Prozac Nation.
Prozac Nation.
Black Snake Moan.
I did not see either of
The
those.
first scene in Prozac Nation is her on the bed topless, and I was like, God damn, where does she keep
I
those?
preferred the nude scene in Prozac Nation because she had a little meat on her bone. She's all like, all emaciated and Black Snake Moan.
Well, it was the South.
Yeah. Sure, got her some gumbo.
All right, my last little tidbit is Joel Murray, who plays Doug Shapiro, is actually brothers with Bill Murray, which is exciting. And I think I remember him most from his role as George Calamari from One Crazy Summer, which is
What a
one of the
sweet
best
name.
movies ever.
George
Have you guys
Calamari.
seen it?
No.
Oh, there's a scene where Doug is buried in the sand on the beach, and he's just hanging out, and this big fat guy comes with a yard chair and like puts it over his head, and then just opens the hugest can of beans, and you see him eating the beans, and then of course he farts real loud, and then an ambulance comes, and all these people are like gathered around, and Doug Shapiro, or Joel Murray, I guess his name is laying out on the beach like all jacked up.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, that's great.
I heard recently, what was the one they made before that? Better Off Dead? That he refuses to like sign posters or anything about that movie. John Cusack does.
Better Off Dead?
Why?
Yeah, like if like they said if like you went up to him an autograph signing and handed him like a Better Off Dead poster, he'd like slide it back to you and refuse to sign it.
Why? That was like his
He-
best movie.
He thought it was gonna be something that it wasn't, and he said like they turned it into like a teen movie, and he hated it.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, that movie's great.
I want my $2. That fucking movie cracks me up.
This is pure snow. All right, well, that's all I got for trivia.
Colby, hit us with the Colby count.
Okay.
We got to know how many boobies were in this movie.
This is a Meet Your Monsters record, being that the previous record was 2.
Yeah, you'd think with the amount of horror movies that we watch, we'd see a lot more boobs in that, but it's been...
Yeah. Well, one of them was Monster Squad.
Right.
Yeah.
Had a bit of a dry spell.
Well, this makes up for those.
Yeah. This movie, in total, was, make sure I got my calculations correct, 28 boobs. There were 28 boobs in this movie. That's
And
individual
most of them
boobs.
in the first 10 minutes.
First 10 minutes is
First
brilliant. Have this movie take place at Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
God bless the first woman who showed her breasts at Mardi Gras, because that was just
Stroke
set
of
off.
genius.
Yeah. What could be the most successful.
Yeah, the movie really does well. It opens up with Robert Englund getting wasted by a crazy slasher, and then cuts to a bunch of girls taking their shirts off. So
Right after Robert Englund's killed, like the guy that plays his son gets killed, and you see him like being torn apart with like by hand,
Literally
and, like
torn
his
apart.
spine and shit.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
did the fucking Sub-Zero fatality on him.
I've got to say, when like I think of our podcast, I think of these type of movies. Like this, Hatchet is like should be our mascot movie now.
It's certainly one of them that I've always enjoyed.
Yeah.
Well, since 2006.
Okay. And before I give the body count, I counted this. 6 of the death scenes in this movie were by bare hand.
Nice.
He tore 6 people apart with his bare hands.
I was especially fond of when he killed the old lady by ripping her mouth open like fucking King Kong.
And
did
the
that
tongue,
too, right?
it's just flapping around. And,
Oh yeah, the tongue was wagging all crazy.
and then that one guy, he just twisted his head around till it popped off. It was a beautiful movie. The total body count in here was 9 bodies.
I would have thought more, but that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. I think that might be a record too. I left my regular journal at home, so I'm not sure. But what was the closest one? Leprechaun.
Probably. I don't
Monster
remember.
Squad had like 1.
Yeah, I don't remember the leprechaun body count. But
Yeah.
and did you do the vomit count too?
Oh yes, there were 3 puke scenes.
3 puke.
I didn't know we counted vomit too.
We just started
We don't.
tonight.
Oh,
No, yeah.
It was
It's
just
like
a fun
a
note.
If
spur of the moment
there's
thing.
a running theme in the movie, I like to count those as well. Being that there's 3 puke scenes in this, I want to say that puke was a theme.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
OCD.
I thought it was really funny. I liked a lot of the banter in this movie between the kids, even before they got to the
It was a
all
very
the horror stuff.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
very self-aware horror movie.
I like to think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the scene where he's talking about the guy didn't notice that girl scratching her crotch, and she had crabs and gave him crabs. And then later on the boat, he sees that girl scratching her crotch, and he's like, "Oh God!"
Because God damn it.
That's so funny. Yeah, I thought they did it really well. There was a lot of
and
fun moments between
the scene when they were making the break for it, and the black guy just climbs a tree and he's like, "Fuck you, I ain't coming down."
They should have stayed up in the fucking tree.
They should have stayed up in the tree. And they made a real attempt. Like, this is the first time, like, well, not the first time, but one of the best attempts I've seen where they're like, let's try to kill this guy. Let's stab him with shit and shoot him. It just didn't work out for them.
Right.
Which is weird because she like shot him right in the heart.
It was a great shot.
Yeah, she's good.
Unlike Hills Have Eyes last week when the guy was shooting behind him while he's running and didn't hit anything. She
was like,
shot him right in the fucking heart.
She was like Dirty Harry out there.
She came to kick ass.
Yeah.
And I like the scene with where they were waiting for the two main characters. I can't remember the characters' names. They're going to come back with weapons, and the bush starts rattling. They're just terrified about whatever could be in this bush.
I spent a good 10 minutes just talking about what could be in this bush.
And it turns out it's a raccoon, but then
it was Ben and Mary Beth that went looking for
Ben and Mary Beth. And what was the killer's name again?
Victor Crowley.
Victor, yeah, he pops up out of the other side and then grinds the chick's jaw off with a belt sander.
Yeah,
it
not
was
with his
just
hips.
lovely.
That'd be cool if he grinded her face off with his pelvis. There was a scene that I really liked where, speaking of Kane having those burns, like they burned Victor and then it started raining and it put him out just because they have shit fucking luck, which I thought was great. I love little details like that. And at one point she was kicking off his burnt skin to try to get him to let go of the guy, and I thought that was so cool because, at least they used something that had happened in the past, and I love those little details. It was really kick-ass. I like that movie.
Yeah.
It was another interesting thing too. Is every horror movie has what's called a half man, and the half man is a character that knows a little something about what's going on.
Was that the guy in the boat?
In this in this particular movie, it was the girl, Mary Beth. She was the half. She knew the legend of Victor Crowley and informed the characters, and she actually became the hero. Usually, the half man tells a story and then gets wasted in some weird way or goes away. And in this case, she actually became the main hero of the story.
That's good.
I thought that was a nice little twist on that.
Instead of just adding another character just for exposition, might as well make her a valid character.
See, because the guy who comes across as the main character, Ben, he really was just there for shits and giggles. She actually had a purpose. She was looking for a missing family and found him dead and was pissed off. It was it was nice. It was a nice little thing.
Yeah, I definitely would say it wasn't Ben's movie. It was
Mary Beth's movie.
Yeah, and I feel like
but Ben brought you to her very nicely, I thought.
I feel like them trying to fight the monster was just an attempt to put more blood on the screen, which I just really appreciate that.
Yeah,
that is quality horror filmmaking.
Although I must say, there were several parts of the movie where they had him down and they just run away.
Yeah.
And I always get pissed off at that because there were several times where, cut his fucking head off or something. Do something.
And I feel like at
keep
that scene,
poking him with a stick or stabbing him.
When
kicking him
she
in the
shot
dick or
him and he fell, what we didn't know he was. I mean, we know, as viewers knew he probably wasn't dead, but they didn't know he wasn't dead. I just would have stood like, okay, we won. Let's go. Let's keep on going to the road here.
But there was when she shot him, they didn't do anything. When they burned him, he was laying there all crispy. They didn't do anything. Later on, when he was impaled through the throat by that fucking spear, which he beautifully threw at that dude.
Yeah. But if they did go up to him, you would be screaming, "Don't go up to him! That's so stupid."
You might be right.
What do you want?
Yeah,
what do you want?
There's a whole lot of those oh God, don't do it.
I had to say, when it was Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees, they're walking slow, run away from him. Victor was booking it around there. He was a dead sprint after them. So.
That was one of the coolest scenes too. It was a lot like Leprechaun, where he just jumped out of the bushes and started attacking that dude. He fucking just runs out of the house and chops up that old dude and then rips his wife's fucking head apart. It was amazing. He looked like he was just at home watching TV. And he was like, "People in the lawn, fuck this, bro. This is my swamp land." He fucking just tore him up. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I gotta say this is my shortest notes I've ever had because it's such an awesome movie.
You're having fun.
They didn't really goad him into anything, did they? They didn't they just kind of showed up and that's why he was pissed off.
They didn't wrong him in any way other than being in his territory.
Yeah.
They were just like, these are Victor's woods, and apparently they were.
Yeah.
Well, he'd been wronged before when he was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, saying that is you really can't blame the guy. You just worry that might set his house on fire again. Nip it in the bud.
We should say for the people who haven't seen this, the backstory there is that he was a deformed child, and he was kind of shut in by his father, so that because the kids would make fun of him, and
His father, who was played by Kane Hodder, was also kind.
yeah,
It was kind Kane.
yes, very very kind to the young man. And some kids were trying to mess with him. They accidentally caught the house on fire, and while his father was trying to cut him out, he accidentally stabbed him in the face with a hatchet.
He was trying to get him the cane cut.
Yeah.
Kane cut him out of there.
Yeah. And anyway, that's the origin of the monster. I thought it was cool. Cool story. Yeah. Matt, what didn't you like so much about this one?
Well, I watch horror movies for the romance. No, I don't know. There were such great moments in the dialogue, but I felt that other times they're really trying to push the campy jokes out on you. I didn't think it worked all the time. Mm-hmm. Especially with the blonde. Sometimes she was a little bit too blonde.
It was like,
but at the same time, she had some really funny lines later on.
I would say the production value wasn't great, and we could have used some
$1.5 million was the budget.
They could have used some fine tuning, but it was funny. There's blood all over the place.
It looked good. On a technical level, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
The lighting, I think they went a little crazy with the lighting in the woods, but yeah.
Yeah, the girl, she did seem almost too dumb to have survived, but but she did have some funny moments.
Yeah,
I can't believe that was that same girl from.
Yeah. That really makes that Wednesday quote at that girl really poignant. It's like I'll play the victim all your life.
Oh wow, boy. You want to do the critical critique for us?
Sure do. Okay.
So this one was written by a girl, so just cut out all the nail polish and hair curling in the beginning.
Yeah, she talks about her tampon in the first sentence.
And her ex-boyfriend, it gets weird.
This review is by Marianne Johansson of film.com.
Let me set up the critique here. Okay, so what we do here is the critical critique is when we critique a critic who has harshly reviewed a movie we like.
Yeah.
Matt won't be the one today. He wasn't that harsh on it.
Yeah.
He's just going to be like, she made some good points.
Yeah. This girl, I thought, after reading it, I didn't think she really... it was that type of movie. I don't know. I just felt like she was a snob about it. But,
yeah, this just takes it way too seriously.
Yeah.
I'm off to see Hatchet 2 tonight, which is making such a splash already with its snubbing of the MPAA. It'll be released unrated. So I figured I should check out the first film before I do, especially since it picks up immediately from the point at which this one ends. Why would you go and see the sequel if you haven't seen the first one?
I guess you need to write a review.
Some people are heathens.
It's supposed to be sort of a shocking ending, shocking in quotes, I hear, but I found it much like the rest of the film, which drags itself from set piece to set piece, full of its own quote-unquote cleverness, at how it's aping 80s horror flicks. What the hell does aping mean? Oh. Should have somebody a little bit brighter than me reading these.
Aping? I've never heard of that either.
I gotta sound it all out.
Later she uses the word pastiche, so prepare yourself for that one.
That'll be in the second segment, the second new segment, Abe Defines.
Abe teaches.
Which was preceded by Abe looks this shit up downstairs before the show.
Okay. Alright, where was I at? Okay. So, lots of naked memories bouncing around screen. True. She's right about that.
Yeah.
The quote-unquote nudity warning of the original R-rated theatrical version refers, of course, only to female nudity. No men are naked here. Thank God. Nobody enjoys seeing naked men.
Kathleen, how do you
Well,
feel
it
about
would have
that?
been out of context because you don't usually go to Mardi Gras to see wieners.
The dicks, yeah.
Do guys get beads for their wiener?
No, guys hate
If
beads.
they flash it?
Actually, you lose beads when you pull your wiener out. That's a Mardi Gras foul.
I have to say though, occasionally a wiener in a movie is fucking hilarious.
That's true.
Yeah, I think sometimes.
For
Teen
comedic
Wolf.
value.
Yeah, Teen
Well,
Wolf.
if you're trying to
Scream 2 when that fucking dick went into that dude's ear.
Scary
Scary
movie
Movie
too.
too.
Or Scary Movie 2.
Yeah.
What did I say? Scream 2?
Scream 2.
Same thing.
That made for a much better movie. Okay. Unless you count the graphic gops we get at their intestines and other innards. Oh yes, many bodies are ripped apart here in quote-unquote inventive ways that will be so snarky with
They
her
were inventive.
quotes.
They were very inventive.
Yeah. When's the last time she saw somebody get impaled on a shovel?
Yeah.
Never.
Twice last season.
Ways that will be appealing to those who spend a lot of time thinking about all the many methods by which a tender, delicate human body can be mangled and brutalized. Cry me a river. Bleeding
Wait,
heart.
she's about to get even
I see
deeper.
here, yeah. And she puts in parentheticals here. I wonder how many guys who've seen their bodies ripped apart by IEDs on Iraqi roadsides enjoy these kind of movies.
Oh my
Probably
God.
all of them. Okay.
Wow. You know what? She really speaks for the troops, though.
Yeah.
But she is.
That's
there.
actually film.com's like their slogan is like for the troops. Like this
Oh,
one
really?
is yeah.
Because
no.
every movie is made for
Yeah.
the troops.
So, like Star Trek, it was really bummer when they shot each other because it was troops. Writer-director Adam Green has been hailed as the future of horror. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, yeah.
I hope so. Like I hope this is the direction horror is heading in. The future of horror is the past of horror, apparently, lacking the satirical bite of the first Scream, which so effectively sent up 80s slashers flicks that's hard to imagine anyone doing better. This is mere pastiche that doesn't even... Let's stop
But,
here.
yeah,
the
what
hell
does
does
that
pastiche mean, Abe?
It's like mimicking a style.
Oh, she just could have said that. She could have said mimicking.
Are
She
you
probably
kidding?
had a thesaurus out when she was writing this. It was just like, I'm going to sound like the
She's a
smartest
goddamn
movie
writer.
critic.
Do you think like the person who went and checked out, like, I'm thinking about going and seeing Hatchet, let's check out the reviews first. They're like, oh yeah, the pastiche is all fucked up, let's not go see Hatchet.
She's probably like a hipster on some typewriter.
Yes, she said.
No pastiche there.
This reminds me of Picasso's Blue period.
Okay. This is mere pastiche that doesn't even wink at what is pointlessly Xeroxing from the past. Even its boogeyman.
See, now this is where I was confused by her article, and maybe I'm not smart enough to decipher her amazing work here, but she's basically saying that it doesn't do well enough at copying. Is that what she's saying?
Kind of. She's saying
It's-
like
It
you
doesn't.
gotta
It doesn't
acknowledge.
acknowledge
Yeah.
enough the style that it's
Yeah.
copying. Maybe they just want to make a fucking cool slasher movie.
Yeah. Now that's the new thing that she's gonna like expect from all movies. Like if she sees a superhero movie, there better wink to the pastiche.
Yeah, there better be like
of, the 1970s.
You'll believe a man can fly. Ridiculous.
Okay,
It just pisses me off because what the fuck has she ever done? You know,
Yeah.
she can go talk shit about it. This is why I like.
you know what?
doing the
She's
critical
not winking at the pastiche of her previous reviews.
Yeah.
Like Roger Ebert, wink, wink.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's your fucking movie, lady?
Yeah. Even its boogeyman, the deformed and tormented homicidal Louisiana swamp hermit, Victor Crowley. That's a really good... I gotta give her credit there. That's a really good way of describing a tormented homicidal Louisiana swamp hermit. That is... Hey, she nailed the... Hit
Better-
the nail on the head there.
Better than last week's Mutant Man.
Okay. Tormented homicidal Louisiana swamp hermit, Victor Crowley, Kane Hodder. She gives him credit for Jason X. The worst goddamn Jason.
He was Jason 3 times. God damn it.
Yeah. But you know what? It winked the fuck out of the pastiche of the old Jasons in that one, and she loved it.
Yeah.
Is eminently unsurprising. You could swap in Freddy or Jason without even noticing a difference. Freddy, you'd notice a difference because they'd all have to be fucking asleep
Yeah.
the whole movie.
Jason would get stuck in the swamp.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Freddy was in that movie, and I did notice it.
There, that was your winking pastiche there.
Well done, yes.
The Robert Englund being in the beginning, that winked the hell
Tony
out
Todd in the middle. No one even mentioned Tony Todd, motherfucking Candyman, right there in the.
I forgot about him.
You know,
That's 2 winks.
And
That's 2 winks, Marianne.
Yeah, they definitely were acknowledging the horror movies of the past, the slasher films of the past. It even says so in the fucking tagline when it says old school American horror.
Right.
Because when you say old school American horror,
Yeah.
you know.
I wonder what old school French horror is like. They run out of cigarettes.
Lots of dream sequences. And somebody going, oh ho ho. I apologize.
You just see like the beginning of the movie, like a beret, like falling like a feather in the wind, just into a river.
This movie
Marianne
ranks the
Johansson,
shit
go
out
fuck
of all
yourself.
movies.
Yeah. Yeah, we should. Did you tell her to go fuck herself? I feel like that should
What
be.
would
in
feel
every
bad
film.
if she was like a veteran and she was like, this was just her way of telling like how to.
I
No,
guess
I won't
that
feel
would,
bad.
That would make it all
No, she would have
right.
said directly that she was a veteran.
Yeah, when I was in the war, I saw
Yeah.
some terrible things. Yeah.
Me personally.
Support our troops. That's how she signs off. Everyone.
Yeah. And, war is a horrible thing, but we're not talking about horror. We're talking about a slasher movie.
Yeah,
You go to a slasher movie knowing you're going to see some boobs and people get chopped up.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I'm sure a movie about somebody's dad after your dad dies is gonna bum you the hell out, so you just avoid it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna be disturbed, like they probably wouldn't watch Hatchet. Like if they're still and have their PTSD, they're probably not watching Hatchet right now.
Yeah. And they probably shouldn't, you know?
Yeah, they should watch Animaniacs. You can't be
Can't be sad watching
Animaniacs.
Animaniacs.
Yeah.
Pinky and the Brain.
Animaniacs supports the troops, okay?
We might be onto something. We should call a psychologist like, hey, you might want to think about PTSD victims.
Not watching Hatchet.
Yeah, not watching Hatchet. Maybe reruns of like Tom and Jerry. Well, maybe not Tom and Jerry because they could be like, he dropped a piano like he dropped a piano on my buddy and Nan.
That's all these pianos falling out.
Let's get to these quotes. I got a good one.
Do you want to do your themes first? Well, we can do the quotes first.
Yeah, let's do the quotes first.
I like
Okay.
to wrap it up with the themes and tropes. And,
My quote was, how the hell did I get up in this tree? Because you know what? He was so scared he climbed a fucking tree. I love that. I love that.
brilliant move, like hiding food from a bear. You just get up in
Yeah.
that tree.
Yeah.
And with his old mangled all limbs, he couldn't have climbed that tree.
But he could use his hatchet to cut it down.
Yeah.
And he moved so fast, though, that if he could climb the tree, at least you could kick
Maybe
down.
that's
on him.
what we didn't see. He would have got really tired and just gave up. And that guy could have made a break for him by morning.
Maybe with his like weird deformed neck, he can't look up.
He's like, ah.
The same character, my quote, and they were talking about how fun this haunted tour was going to be. And he said, about as fun as a bag of dicks. Which may not be a super clever quote, but it got me to thinking how unfun a bag of dicks would be.
Unless you like dicks.
Yeah,
No, not
maybe
even
Dixie.
like
A
dicks.
severed dick would be
Severed
weird.
dicks, yeah. There are like 35 to 40
Oh,
dickless
yeah.
men, and all their dicks are in this bag.
Okay, I'm going out on a limb here, but picture this, right?
Okay.
My uncle and I,
Stop now.
We stumbled upon a bag of dicks.
we used to go fishing in Kansas, right? This is what it's like when you're in fucking Kansas. And we would catch fish and we would clean them and we would sling the guts, right?
Yeah.
And how we would do that was we would drive in the truck and we would sling guts at people's houses or whatever, right? Just because, that's what you do when you're poor and you fucking are in Kansas.
Yeah.
What if you had a bag of dicks and you were slinging them at houses, throwing them at people walking down the street? It might be fun.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
well,
If you're
how
creative,
much-
a bag of
how
dicks could be a
much
good time.
would a veteran who's seen his buddies blown up by IEDs
Oh, God.
appreciate having a dick in their lawn?
Could you imagine having a dick fight?
This looks like Eddie's dick.
Medical corpsman just walking around picking up dicks. How many you got? Whole bag full. Oh, that's terrible.
There's a good 35 dicks here.
Is it enough that maybe we could put them in a box? No, I'd have way more fun with a bag of them.
just hate to see all these dicks go to waste.
Oh, you gotta honor the memory of the dicks.
Yeah. That's too fucking funny. Did any of you get quotes? No.
I did. My quote was from the beginning of the movie when Robert Englund and his pretend son were on the boat, and his son gets attacked by an alligator, and he shouts, "She tried to bite my sack off."
That's a pretty good redneck voice.
Because we've all been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gators snapping at your jewels.
Yep. I lived in Florida, damn it.
Rednecks slinging dicks out the back of your uncle's truck.
You think the people you sling, like, what do you call it, sling the guts at?
Fish guts.
Yeah, do you think they're like, oh, those boys have been fishing again? Give me the comment.
Gut slingers. Yeah, it was just a weird thing. We'd shoot possums, we'd fucking sling guts. It was a weird way to grow up.
Outrun the sheriff.
Yeah.
Them Aiken
awesome.
boys.
I saw an amazing police chase with a guy on a motorcycle in a cop car, and what was funny was he just came into this neighborhood where my grandma's house was, and every time the cop would come, he would just drive through the grass around somebody's house to the other street, and eventually he fucking got away. He just parked
Just
somewhere.
got bored.
Yeah, no one would tell on him, and he just fucking parked somewhere in between the houses and was like, "Is he gone?" And we were like, "I think so."
There's our third disc segment, Abe's memories.
Yeah. Yeah, Abe's fucked up past. All right, what's this?
Are we moving on to
Yeah, let's
theories,
do it.
themes,
This is
and tropes?
the actual, like, this is not a new segment.
This
new
is
title for a
yeah,
segment.
this
New
is-
title for an old segment.
Yeah.
Theories, themes, and tropes. I like it.
There we go. I guess I'll start with tropes. I didn't.
Yeah, you
really-
might have to define for
It's-
me.
Oh yeah, tropes are things that.
Maybe you could show me in pictures.
Act it out.
I'm gonna use the power of song. No, tropes are things that seem to happen a lot in movies, like people walking away from explosions.
Oh, okay. All right, I remember now. Okay.
Oh,
Like a
okay.
cliche, just as a cooler title.
Yeah.
Trope.
While you're going through this, keep talking. I am going to
Yeah.
look this up so we
Cliche-
have a solid definition.
Go for
Cliches
it.
are more of like an opera thing.
So there weren't. It's kind of hard for this movie because.
It was a trope.
Yeah, it was. It was winking
At the
at a lot of
prestige.
past horror movies.
Pastiche horror
That's right.
movies.
It was
I
winking
think is
so
how you
hard it
use
was
that.
just had its eyes closed for like minutes. But I get one of the tropes that I saw was if there's ever an abandoned cabin that people stumble upon and it's the home of whatever hermit psycho killer, there always has to be a dead animal already in there. Something's got to be bloody.
Okay.
Oh,
I've
yeah,
got a
nice.
story for mine.
Boy, that's a
On
good one,
relation to
Matt.
that. We were camping and we went on this hike and there was like we assumed that they were like mining there and there was like this abandoned village of cottages and like I looked in one of the windows and I saw like this old like box springs, like really old, like 1940s old, and I was like, guys, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Like, I've seen this before, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
I've seen this too many times. Okay, it says a figurative or metaphorical use of a word or expression. A word, phrase, or image used in a new or different way in order to create an artistic effect. So it's essentially, like you were saying,
So
like,
it's like the Rembrandt's triangle.
Okay, look, I don't think I described it like I got it like I'm really stupid.
I think what he said is very telling. Like when you go to an old shack, there's already some dead animals in there. You know some shit's about to go down.
Okay.
They're like
it's-
little.
okay.
They're like little shortcuts for movies because that's the shortcut that tells us that they
Yeah.
didn't just stumble upon a random person's cabin; they stumbled upon the wrong cabin.
Okay, I'm like put it like that because like I'm just getting the hang of math, so like I need that.
Could you teach me, man?
I'll try.
Another trope that came up is one girl started to talk about her future plans, and we all know that is a
Yeah.
death
Yeah.
signal if there ever is one. If someone's ever a day away from retirement,
Yeah.
if they have any hope of a future, they're gonna die.
Yeah, I suppose that's why they've made 4 Lethal Weapon movies, or did they make 5 Lethal
There's
Weapon? 4, yeah.
4. Yeah.
Because they didn't want to kill him off yet.
Hmm.
Because one of those times he's gonna say I'm 12 for this shit, and he's gonna get.
Did he say
Yeah.
that in the first movie?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's how far is away from retirement? Lethal Weapon 1?
I forget.
Like a couple weeks or something. Wasn't
Yeah.
it?
And in the 4th one, it was Riggs that was too old for that shit.
Was it?
Mhm.
Yeah, because remember he's like, I'm just, and he's like, I'm getting too old for this shit. And then they talked about it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
In the-
Still whooped Jet Li's ass.
And then he was like,
2 on 1, man.
anti-Semitic
2 on 1.
for this shit.
Yeah.
And another trope, this one doesn't really count though, is the the black guy dies, but I'm not going to count that for this one because everybody died.
That's
yeah.
true.
And he made it.
He made it pretty far.
He made it
Yeah.
pretty far.
He was
But-
the smartest character because he was like, "Fuck the shit, let's get out of here. I'm climbing up the tree. Suck a bag of dicks."
They did acknowledge, though, because there was one black guy and one Asian guy, and he was making a joke, like, why are the black guy and the Asian guy doing all the heavy lifting while the white guy's in the back with the girls? I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
An acknowledgement of the genre.
Do you think slaves that saw this movie appreciate that?
Yeah.
I think
No.
it just hammered home
I'm just thinking
that the
of
struggle's
all
not
the
over.
groups of people this movie could have offended.
Yeah.
I relate with Marianne on that. I'm always thinking that.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park is like, how many dinosaur victims did this movie offend?
How many dinosaurs have to suffer?
Just to make your stupid movie.
It was a critique of how mistreated zoo animals are.
Was it?
No,
Okay.
it was a fucking cool movie about
I
dinosaurs.
didn't pick up on that trope.
I wanted to say that they're trying to do
The
some
pioneer.
kind of they're trying to do some kind of symbolism with Victor Crowley like spitting or vomiting into Ben's mouth. I don't know what they were trying to convey, but maybe it's just to gross him out.
I think it was a
But-
gross out scene because it grossed me the fuck out.
Yeah.
They really made his spit look like jizz. I'm like, that's unnecessary.
He's all deformed. Maybe it was.
That's why he's
So
killing
mixed
everybody.
up.
He's got a dick tongue.
He's all, "Ah."
Did we do everybody's favorite scene? Did we go round table on that? Or
No, tell me, what was your favorite scene?
I think mine was that old lady's face being pulled apart
That would
from the
badass.
mouth. Or just, like Kobe already mentioned, it just gets pulled apart and the tongue's wagging around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
it was
was
like
amazing
King Kong,
death scene.
except when King Kong, they just ripped like it open. This was completely off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, I liked in the opening scene when he's pulling the guy apart and like he's pulling his bottom half from his top half, and like you just saw the entrails and shit spilling out. Just magical, beautiful film. You know,
I
beauty's in the
also
eye of
like
the
the old
beholder.
lady
Yeah,
getting the mouth ripped open. That was a good scene.
I think the scene with the mouth ripping was definitely something that stands out. I was also very fond of the scene where from one end of the screen to the other was a bunch of boobies lined up.
that was that'll also stand as a Meet Your Monsters record. Like most
How
boobs
many
in one
boobs
shot.
in one shot?
I
Yeah, there
counted
was,
that
what,
shot.
8?
12. It
12
was 12 boobs in one shot.
Nice.
Panoramic.
Like I was saying, I just wanted to run underneath and slap them all in the way, like. Brr, 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 brr. Long time.
The belt sander was pretty good too, but like
Not technically a death scene because she survived it.
Well, she survived the belt sander.
Yeah, not the scene. She didn't
Yeah.
make it through the scene.
Yeah, they did an alright job with like her lower jaw being all sanded away, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait till you guys see the kind of shit that goes down in part 2. It was a pretty awesome movie. That's all I gotta say.
yeah, the
Yeah.
death
That's
scenes
great.
were awesome.
All I want in a horror movie. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
So that's the end of Meet Your Monsters for this week. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys, and thanks to anyone listening at home. Next week, if you're following along, we'll be watching The Conjuring, which is
Nice.
legitimately scary.
Yeah.
It really scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. That's it. Thanks.
Alright, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Once upon a time, there was a boy named Victor Crowley. Books weren't